In this segment we're going to look at graphic shapes, how designers use shapes and form. And simple shapes can be used by designers to help with contrast, to add visual interest. They can be an element that sits alongside typography or imagery, and they can really be a unifying element that works together in a larger system. So we're going to start out by really looking at these three basic shapes, and these three shapes typify the kind of directional qualities that other shapes might have. So you can see the circle is represented is the shape is circular, the triangle, the direction of it is more diagonal, and the square, the direction of it is horizontal and vertical. And you can see those directional qualities even more if we convert the shapes to lines. And basically that's what makes a shape a shape. It's a space that's described by a closed path. So here you can see when we make the path open, you can see that the circle is actually just a line that would be completed. The triangle is made out of 3 strokes, the square is made out of 4 strokes. But as soon as we close those paths and perhaps add a color to the volume of the shape, we really stop seeing line and we really just see shape and form. And even though we're dealing with abstract form here, we always try and read something into that form. We try and make things that we recognize even out of abstract forms. So here you can see just by changing the baseline of those objects, we might start to see this as a face. If we change the shape of the forms, then we really begin to see it as a face. So you can see how we're desperately trying to read these abstract forms as things that we recognize in the real world. And for part of this exercise, we're really going to try and just keep them as abstract forms and not try and make pictures out of them. But just quickly to illustrate our desperation to try and read into these images, you can see how small moves can make a lot of difference. So here's a happy face, a sad face. You move the shape up, it perhaps becomes a moustache. You put some circles in there and suddenly it's a pig or a bird. So you can see how just changing back to a face again, you can see how just changing some basic shapes, there's a lot of power in shapes, whether they're used to represent something that's abstract, whether it's something in the real world, or in this case whether it's a learned symbol. There's a lot of power in shapes, and designers use shapes in a lot of different ways.